Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's Wellness Wednesday. My name is Becca Briley, Sweetheart Success Coach, joining you with one of our amazing graduates who is out there living the Sweetheart mission, which is sharing her passion in the world in a loving and profitable way. So I have Miss Amanda Melissa Dodd with me today. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, how are you?
So good to see you. I have watched Amanda on her educational path from student to graduate. And now, I mean, it seems that she's becoming famous. I had to connect and ask. I know you want to be humble about it, but want to know, Amanda, because you are going to be speaking as a clinical transpersonal clinical hypnotherapist at many upcoming conferences, which is very exciting. I especially love it because hypnotherapy helps you conquer public speaking and look at you go, right? Was that ever an intention when you actually first started your path in clinical hypnotherapy?
No, and a lot of things weren't intended, but that's kind of the miracle of the magic of going to Sweeha and attending these programs is you do so much personal healing. Initially, I just was coming to be a coach. I was only going to do 100 hours of hypnosis, and I wanted
Mm.
to self-heal primarily. And then what happens is you go through the coursework, you're working with peers, you're getting lessons from instructors, and you're just finding so much about yourself along the way. And you're like, well, I can't not share this now. It's amazing. It has to be shared. So it
Truly.
expanded for
What program did you do?
I am a Sweeha junkie, self-proclaimed. I've done two and a half. I say half because one of them was the yoga certification for 200-hour instructor. And then I did the integrative healing arts practitioner, and then the mind body wellness practitioner. And they coupled beautifully together. Yeah.
Awesome. When did you graduate?
I want to say I finished in 2018 and
Okay.
I want to say I started around 2016.
Awesome. Okay. So you have a good amount of Sweeha on your tool belt. So healing tools for self, which as healers, we know we have to be practitioners of our own practice. And then we learn to hold space for others. So, Amanda, your brand is called Healing Beyond Trauma, Transpersonal Clinical Hypnotherapy and Coaching. So it sounds like you initially intended to start with coaching. How did you discover the power of hypnotherapy and why did you decide to take it past the 100 hours into clinical?
It was the experiences, and every time you take a class at Sweeha, the biggest benefit I had was that you immediately go and exercise and you practice with peers. And so you would be, leading these different exercises with peers, and all of a sudden you see either the peer have a really great response. But when I did that first 100 hours, I was helping someone with a weight loss session. I had results. Oh, wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute, I wasn't even the one receiving hypnosis. How does
Mm.
that work? And it's like, well, if it's that potent, I want to know more. And
Mm.
from there, I was dug in and I was decided. And then I wasn't going to go into the spiritual end of it. I was going to stay clinical and focus on trauma healing and complex PTSD, which integrative healing arts practitioner covers in detail. And that's where I wanted to remain. But past life regression happened. And once again, another assignment came up. And Linda Bennett had instructed us to go to a past life where there was something to heal. I was
Mm.
aware of having that fear of public speaking. And if I remember back to like elementary age, I had a monologue at one point in drama class. I froze so hard. My body locked up, tears started coming down. It was awful. I couldn't get a word out. So when I
Oh,
say fear of public speaking, it was that bad. I really only stuck to like one-on-one interactions. And so had that first experience with past life regression, had an interesting kind of story play out. And it's like, well, that would make sense as to why I'd be afraid to speak up. Went ahead and released that, and it was like it never was there. And I was able to
Hmm.
just move forward. And now, as you can see, I'm very comfortable speaking in public and presenting now. Yeah.
Yes, I see that. And I feel that like you're very grounded in your truths, you know who you are. And it's funny you say you were going more towards the spiritual place, because now the next conference you'll be doing is a hypnosis conference where you're speaking about bridging between mediumship and hypnosis. Is that right?
Yes. So
Wow.
I've been aware of being a medium since I was a young child.
Mm.
In my 20s was when I really started to identify it, but I didn't particularly want that life for myself. It wasn't what I was aiming for. And that's kind of the beauty of everything, though, is you find what you're meant to find, regardless of how you want to avoid it or dodge it. And it pairs into all of the wonderful things you learn along the way. So I found this really neat intersection between hypnosis and
Mm.
hypnotherapy and mediumship, where I'm not only just taking clients, so rather than me being the medium, I'm able to completely step aside and let the client have their own experience and just have it be very supportive and guided and facilitated.
Wow. And now you're helping hypnotists kind of do the same, right? So it's not even clients that you're focused on speaking to at these conferences, it's the hypnotists to further develop or deepen their gifts, right?
Right, to facilitate
Wow.
more of this for their clients, to add that new technique for additional healing that could have been hit or miss because I know some of the ins or outs of both of it. So, with having been a medium, I know what it takes to get in and to get a solid connection. And I know a lot of the blocks that get in the way. Whereas most hypnotists, they wouldn't have that, they wouldn't know that. And so it can happen spontaneously, especially in transpersonal hypnotherapy. But I've got a way that makes it simple, clear. It's a nice protocol, no fail, everything's easy.
Mm. Wow. Did you ever see yourself going this route? Like actually you're guiding the hypnotist?
No, definitely not.
Mm.
Definitely not. No.
I know Linda Bennett's going to be excited because I'm going to tag her, and she'll rewatch this to see, what you're doing with this because this is so inspirational. And you mentioned her name when you were talking about the public speaking piece. At what point did you receive hypnotherapy to work on the public speaking aspect, and what was it for? You remember?
That was the best part, was it wasn't even an intentional session to work on it.
Oh,
Literally just a class exercise meant to be our first experience with a past life regression. And it wasn't even a full session. It was meant to be an introductory taste. And it had
wow.
found a change for me. So I've ended up kind of being the self-proclaimed poster child of past life regression because I keep resolving all of these lifelong challenges. And it's like, okay, well, you can't deny something when it keeps benefiting you. So
Right,
learn to,
right.
yeah.
So the realities of running your own business, building your own clientele, getting involved in speaking at conferences like these, what is that reality like for you to share, with those who are interested in maybe following a similar path?
I would say that your mind will make it more daunting than it usually is. A lot of these conferences that are happening, they love and actually additionally intentionally create space for new speakers. When I've gone to these conferences in the past, last year I did a lot of attending, and now this year I'm presenting in many. And what you're going to find is they're very welcoming. They're very supportive. They're kind. When you get out there and you meet people, especially in the hypnosis industry, there is room for you. They're excited about your perspective and the gifts and the ways that you offer it. And you can ask those questions of, hey, what's working for you in business right now? And you'll get an honest, genuine answer. So put yourself out there, even if you don't see the potential that you have to bring, even if. And there are things that I do that it's like, okay, these certain things don't seem like they're that big a deal. But because I've been doing and facilitating hypnosis for groups now for over a year, I've naturally refined my processes and things to the point where I do things differently. And some things are very effective. And I am seeing that now. So there's value in sharing it.
So have you attended a lot? And I love your website. Your events page is more of a resource than it is like a selling tool for yourself. So I really celebrate that, because you're posting events and things that people can enjoy to support their whole journey, not just your own offerings.
Yeah.
Have you done a lot of attending of other events to kind of also see what other people are doing to learn, get comfortable, but also boost your confidence of like, oh, that's great. And here's my methods.
Absolutely. It's fun to get out there and just see how, because hypnosis is so versatile and everyone's got their own method, their own magic. So it's really fun to just see like, oh, how are they presenting this? And then you start to view it with a different set of eyes rather than going with like your child eyes or your young adult eyes. You're there with your entrepreneurial eyes on, and you're seeing things from that different perspective. And then you have the opportunity to ask the presenters questions of what got you started with speaking? How did you find this protocol? And get some of those answers. And then you're able to look back at your own life and be like, oh, I've hit some of those milestones. Yeah, I see that now. And
Yeah.
then it's easier to get it out there and to share.
Have you always been comfortable with networking? Because I hear excitement in your voice that you actually like to connect. Have you always been that way, or did it shift at some point in your journey?
No, it definitely shifted. And it was, I'm not going to say that it was always seamless. Of course, there are awkward starts of, oh, I put myself in this weird situation. I feel brand new. Why did I just say that?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have those moments, and you're going to find out that you're going to make it through and you're going to become more resilient. And then as you experience those benefits of connecting with other people, it's like I've met so many wonderful practitioners and entrepreneurs now, that of course I'm going to, engage more deeply with every event. I've met people who run podcasts, magazines, and speak all over the world. And they've been such an asset to my life. So there's a lot of passion, a lot of excitement there.
And once you open that up, it's like hard to not keep going, right?
Oh, sure. It's like stepping out of a box and you're like, I'm not going back in there. I don't even fit in there anymore.
Right. And what's your lifestyle like? Like, are you at home? I mean, is it also helpful, you think, to get you out of some isolation mode and like go connect with humans and actually have that exchange?
Oh, definitely. So I have
Okay.
some weeks where I am home. I
Okay.
do have, so my practice right now is hybrid. I'm 50%
Okay.
virtual and probably more like 30% of in-person for weekly events. So every week I have meditations in the Salt Cave in a local holistic shop that I
Mm.
love. They've been so supportive. They've got a great Reiki space. And so I can come in and do my session work there, private as well as groups. It's just really awesome to have that relationship. And then the rest I do virtual because I'm a military spouse. I know that I'm always on the move every 3 to 5 years,
Um,
especially starting not quite from scratch, but starting over geographically at least. So I go
wow.
between that. And then when conference season rolls around, then I start to plan my time a little bit of, oh, okay, now I got to be strategic. I'm going to want a week here. I'm going to have a week there. Launching various programs for myself. So actually to pay for some of my travel, a mentor and I did a weight loss group virtual over Zoom, led beautiful
Wow.
weight loss, and then all of our travel was paid. So we went to Hypnothoughts in Vegas, which is, I want to say, the largest conference, at least for hypnosis in America, if not possibly the world. Our whole trip was covered. literally using the skills, paying the bills, and then going and having fun.
Wow. Amen. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That is super exciting. Okay, so it sounds like you've also gotten really good at planning, like scheduling, strategizing, which is half the battle of being an entrepreneur, right? And owning your own business. And you've had 2 years of practice doing that fully, right?
Yeah. A little
Yeah.
more than 2, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I wanted to showcase some of these events that you'll be at. Just want to share my screen. So is this the next one coming up here that you'll be at?
So that'll be next week, and that's the one where I'm going to be presenting Mind of a Medium. And that's talking about how hypnotherapists can take their clients through my protocol. They can create a strong connection for maybe someone who's lost someone. And after that, they're past that large hurdle of grief, but they maybe still can't move forward or let go. They still need some, just connection or catharsis. That's an opportunity for that. And then also how they can still use this ability to help their clients who want to develop their mediumship. Maybe they've got someone who wants to dive into those skills, notice they have a block, want to release it. Just makes for a very strong, certain way of approaching it. And I take the guesswork out of it.
Amazing. Did you create this yourself?
I did not.
Okay, they did this one.
Yeah. So Dan, the I guess not presenter, not the facilitator, but the conference organizer.
Right. Yeah.
He
He
made
sent
that.
this to you to help market. Okay. As
Yeah.
an asset. Got it. Marketing asset created. Awesome. For you.
It's 50.
Which you're really good at too. I know you use and develop your own as well. Which is this one coming up here?
That's the same one, and that's just a
Okay.
discussion panel that I'm going to be participating on. So I'm going to be one of the panelists where we're going to discuss medical and clinical hypnosis.
I love it. And then we have Canada. Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Tell me about this one.
That one's a bit of my hero's journey right there. I am actually born and raised Canadian, so it's kind of fun to be going home, so to speak, and presenting. And so with that one, I want to say that I am presenting, they just recently did the schedule. I think I am doing 2 talks. One of them is calming the nervous system, where I'll actually be talking about vagal nerve theory and how I apply that into hypnosis and my work and some of the breath work tools I do with clients. As I was working with groups in public, I didn't always get the benefit of choosing my clients or where they were at. So what I had to do instead was develop a skill set to work with anyone, regardless of where they are. If they're emotionally regulated, if they're having PTSD, if they're in extreme, flight, I had to be able to get them ready for a session. So I'm going to be sharing how I do that there. And then also
that is some special work. Yeah.
And then also talking about what transpersonal hypnotherapy actually is. I'll be doing that one with Linda Thunberg, the CEO of NAP. So that's exciting.
That is huge. I love the full circle hero's journey there. And then you have this one coming up as well. Tell us about this.
So I'm actually a board member of NAP now. I help them with graphics.
That's huge.
Yeah, and so I did actually make this graphic. And it's just to let people know that, I'm going to be presenting, and here are some of my talks. The first one is the power of aligned emotions. I have a protocol and technique that I've made for emotional intelligence for my coaching clients. I'm going to pass that on to other practitioners for their clients and for themselves. And then also, working on ancestral healing within hypnosis.
Because we know all the goodies can be passed down through generations, right?
Sure can, as can the healing, though. It can go both ways. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, This is amazing. I'm so honored to spotlight you and feature what you have upcoming. Is there any way that people can attend anything virtually? Is this something, all these events they attend in person? What is this?
So the majority of those are in person, although NAF does offer a quarterly virtual retreat, and sometimes
Hmm.
I'm there speaking and sometimes I'm just there supporting. We had one last Saturday, and your very own Linda Bennett was speaking. So
That's
it's
right.
fun. I still get to see, some of those mentors hopping on and presenting. That's always an option. That's virtual. And I'm always happy to speak for virtual events too. So if people have events coming up and they want a weird, quirky little practitioner, I'm happy to show up. Yeah.
I love it. And this is where people can find you. So if anyone's curious, like if anyone's on the fence of, even dabbing their toe in hypnotherapy, if you've been a doubter, which I was too before I took the 100 hours, or I even had my first session. I worked at Sweehaw for about 8 years before I even had a hypnotherapy session, which was also very effective, Amanda. It was before I did my first on-stage speech, so I would not use the word UMM. I'm not going to say it out loud because it might find its way back in this conversation. But it helped me to clear and stay away from that on stage. And it was
Mm,
like magic, just like poof. So for those of you who want to try it out, as a modality, you can reach out to Amanda at healingbeyondtrauma.com. I love your brand. I love the messaging. I love all of the things that you're offering everyone, like very thorough. And then you have your events page, which I mentioned. It's like a resource for those who visit, because really it's all about them, right? And how they get what they're seeking. I see your upcoming events, but I also looked back at what you were helping to promote just in and around the whole modality in your area, out of area. So I really celebrate your efforts as a healer, not making it all about you, but making it resourceful to the community who's coming to you.
right. And that's what it's all about, is because I don't assume that someone's healing is going to be facilitated by me every time. They might need a variety of different messages before things really start to integrate and click. So I just share what I know is out there, because even if I'm not the practitioner for you, I want to make sure you find the one who is. I want you to have all those experiences that finally help it click.
Love it. Love that you captured your testimonials. That's huge. This is just such a helpful resource. So I will put this link for those of you who are curious to just explore, what some of our Sweetheart graduates are doing out in the world, and maybe just putting yourself in that place to think, how do I want to do something similar? What is my niche market? Who am I speaking to? And the work that you're doing for yourself is often your your demographic that does show up in front of you. So Amanda, any last words that you would like to pass on or feel called to share in this moment as a medium?
Go out in the world, put yourself in
Mm.
weird places, difficult situations that you think you can't possibly adapt, because I promise you, your body is made and designed so beautifully. It works unlike anything else, and you're going to hit your growth every single time. Even if you do an event and it doesn't seem like a whole lot came out of it, there's always post-traumatic growth.
Amen. And we're hardwired for connection. So get out there and can make those connections, right?
Absolutely. And it's more than just the single event too. You're going to form relationships that will carry your career through. You're going to find people who do things that you don't, and that's their genius zone. And so you want to be sharing, and vice versa. Not every hypnotist out there is a medium. So those
Right.
clients, those other practitioners who were seeking that, they'll know that I'm around just through those bridges that we make.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing this work out in the world. Thank you for inspiring. And I will look for, I will be celebrating all the pictures and things that you post when you're done. But for anyone who has questions, reach out to Amanda Dodd to connect for a session, ask her experience along her journey if you're on the fence to make that decision for yourself. All right.
Bye.
Well, we'll see you out there. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.